So I'm Dr. Dagnan. I am the junior senior counselor at Signal Mountain Middle High School and wanted to share some information for my rising seniors and their parents. This is one of my favorite cartoons, only because it is so true. Senior year will go very, very quickly for you, and it will be hard to let your child start taking ownership of college applications and reaching out to people and finding out what they're going to do with the rest of their lives. But I encourage you to support them, but allow them to kind of drive this process. What are we doing to get your student ready for their senior year? So I will be meeting with all juniors in the next couple of weeks to go over their transcripts and to make sure they have all of the credits that they'll need to graduate for next year. Sometimes there are errors in input, and just want to make sure that the transcript is as perfect as can be, because the spring of the final grades, their junior year, will be the transcript that will be sent to colleges. So it's incredibly important that they are as mistake-free as possible. The juniors have been taking ACT prep all year during directed studies. In light of the ACT test, they'll be taking March 12th. The state of Tennessee pays for every junior to take the test twice. So your child will take it in March with us for free. You don't sign up for it, you don't pay for it. And then they should be able to take it again in October on campus for free. I don't have a date for that yet. As soon as I have that date, I'll let you know. But again, that's a test that you do not sign up for or pay for. The state of Tennessee takes care of that for you. Junior workshop is coming up most likely in April. It is a day where we take students out of class. We run workshops on college essays. We run workshops on Naviance, which is our computer program that helps us take care of all of the paperwork that we send to colleges for students, including transcripts and college rec letters. We will work on an aptitude and interest inventory. If your child has no idea what they want to be when they grow up, that's fine. I still haven't decided that for myself yet, so I totally get if they're confused and have no idea where to go. So this aptitude and interest inventory is called U Science. It's an interesting program. It has a lot of research and data that supports the validity of it. It gives the students an opportunity to say, hey, these are the things I'm interested in, and then it'll do an aptitude survey, and it'll come back and show them what they're good at. So if your student says that they want to be a rock star, but they can't carry a tune in a bucket, this program gives them some ideas for how to marry the two pieces to find just the right fit for them. We'll also have a college fair. It is in March of this year, so college reps will come and students will have an opportunity to talk to each one, ask them questions. You can walk on campus and talk to someone if you have a question and you just want to touch base with somebody after the bell rings. The reps won't stay long, but they'll stay for a few minutes if you'd like to come and talk to somebody. So this is how I keep track of your students' credits. We are a traditional school. Students earn a half credit every semester, and they need 23 credits to graduate. They'll need 4 English credits, 4 math credits, including algebra, geometry, and algebra 2. If they took algebra in the 8th grade, your child will graduate with 5 credits, which will look good for colleges, obviously. They need 4 science credits to graduate, including biology and chemistry. They need 3 social studies credits to graduate, including world history, U.S. history, government, and econ. If they choose to do history of the Americas, the state of Tennessee allows us to replace that class, or replace the U.S. history and government and econ with that class. They need 2 language B or foreign language credits to graduate. Because we are a middle years program, most of our students have 3, and that looks great for college. I know that not everybody's happy about it, but it really does look good when you're applying to colleges. They need a wellness credit, a PE half credit, personal finance half credit. They need an art credit, complete a senior project, and then they must have at least 3 credits of elective in one area. 99% of my students earned their first elective in humanities as 10th graders just because of the way our classes are structured with the middle years program. Other focused electives they might earn are the career technical or the computers, math, science, or IB electives. What do you and your student need to do to get ready for senior year? Now's the time to be talking to your student about realistic expectations. What are they interested in? Where are they interested in going? Walk them on some campuses. It really does make a difference for students to put their feet on the ground, so to speak, and try the food, look at the dorms, see what's around there. Is the school too big? Is the school too little? Those are things that are hard to see when you're looking at the glossy magazines and the internet research that we can do. Now, having said that, the internet research is great, and I encourage you to help them do the research. Colleges are looking for students who can speak for themselves, advocate for themselves. So Ms. Mitchum and I, who is our college advisor, strongly encourage you to allow the students to drive this process. The colleges are not looking for phone calls from parents. They want to hear from students. Now's a great time to continue to document community service, awards, activities that they do. As your child starts filling out scholarship information, there may be specific scholarships available for Boy Scouts, or there may be specific scholarships available for working at a kennel. So as long as you have all your paperwork or all of your information in one place, dates, people to talk to, those things will make your life much easier for your student as they complete that paperwork. Come to meetings. There'll be a few, it won't be a whole bunch, but there'll be some. Pay attention to emails that we send out. Recommendation letters. As your child starts researching colleges they're interested in, look and see if they're going to need recommendation letters. If they don't need recommendation letters, don't ask for recommendation letters. We have some favorite teachers on campus, and sometimes they'll receive 20 or 30 or 40 requests for recommendation letters, and it is a time-consuming process. If your child does not need rec letters, please do not ask for them. If they do need rec letters, junior year is a great time to start maybe asking ahead, so that the teachers may have an opportunity to do it over the summer or at their convenience, at their time. You will need to do the FAFSA. The FAFSA is how colleges determine money matters. So you can go to FAFSA.org. It's a federal website. You do not pay to do the FAFSA. If somebody is asking you for money to help you do the FAFSA or asking you to pay to complete the FAFSA, you are on the wrong website. So just make sure that it's a totally free. It looks at your income tax and it comes back with a crazy estimated number for how much money they think you can afford to spend on your child's education. That opens up October 1st. So if you have any idea that you might be eligible for state or federal money, Pell Grants, things like that, need-based money, do the FAFSA as soon as it opens. That money goes fast. Also, help your student create a resume. If they are going to ask for rec letters, it's easy to hand a resume off to that teacher just so that that teacher knows a little bit more about your student. Also, the resume will help them as they're completing some of the paperwork for college applications. So let's talk about classes your student might take this year. Dual enrollment classes, if they've not taken any previously, just a quick rundown. It's college credit, high school credit through Chattanooga State. It is, being truthful, I have a love-hate relationship with Chat State only because I love the rigor and the opportunity for our students to take the classes and earn the college credits, but I hate the process because it's not like I can sign them up for the class and then I can follow the process. I have no access to Chat State information, so I can't help with usernames. I can't figure out if they're missing a driver's license. I don't know if they've paid their fees or not. So just know that this is a college-driven process. So they communicate with your child. If your child's not good with checking emails, they may miss a date, or they may not recognize they owe $50 and then they get dropped from the class. So I would just encourage your child to make sure that communication is important for the Chat State dual enrollment. We'll be working on a contract just so that parents and students both understand the process. You have to have an ACT score, which won't be a problem because your child will be taking the ACT with me in March. So let's talk about the dual enrollment grant. There's more confusion with the dual enrollment grant. If you've not taken any dual enrollment classes to date, then you have 2 free classes. So they're both covered $500. Most of the classes cost $498. Some of the math classes cost more, might cost as much as $650. So if you are only going to take the English class, that's awesome. Remember, our grades are by the semester. So if you take the first class and it's free, then your fall semester's free. You'll take the second class in the spring and it's covered as well. But if you do English and math in the fall, there's your 2 free classes. In the spring, your second English and math class, you'll end up owing money. So just know that there's more than likely going to be some fees somewhere that you're going to end up spending. If you took classes, and if your child took classes their junior year, then know that there's HOPE money and enhanced grant. You can pull money from the HOPE, Tennessee HOPE. If your student's not planning on staying in the state of Tennessee, they're going to Alabama or Georgia or Massachusetts, whatever, take the HOPE money. That's just free money to pay for college credits. They have to maintain a 2.75 college cumulative grade point average, not Signal Mountain grade point average, but just for the Chat State classes. Here's a checklist, just so you know. They have to apply to Chat State and keep that password and username. They have to apply for the dual enrollment grant, keep that password and username. They have to have a password and username for dynamic forms. And then we have to keep track of the TigerWeb username and passwords because that's how they'll be getting their communication. You also have to buy textbooks down at the Chat State bookstore. So best laid plans and mice and men. Like I said, I have a love-hate relationship. I wish I could help more with the process. All I can tell you is really whether I've sent transcripts or I've approved classes, everything else really has to be done at the Chat State side of things with their bursar's office and the early college office. Looking at their course selections, if your child is a full IB student, meaning they took all IB classes last year, very easy. You just mark the box on the right-hand side and complete that for me. If not, know that they will need an English class. We do have English 12, Honors English 12, and dual enrollment English. They'll need a social studies class. If they're not in History of the Americas, then chances are they'll need government and econ. Sciences are open. They can choose their science classes. They can choose math classes. However, we look at math ACT scores from the spring test for juniors to place students who are not in math IB. So if your student has an 18 or less on the math portion of ACT, they will be taking the sales class. And if they have higher than that, they have more options. Now the sales class is a college-ready math class that the state of Tennessee provides that gets your student ready to take math in college. So the electives, they have to have an English, a social studies, a science, and math. That leaves 3 blocks available to them. They need 7 credits total for the year. Please let me tell you just a moment about Service Ignite. This is for students who have a sweet and generous heart and like to help other students. They are normally developed peer mentors for students who may have mental or physical developmental delays. They may go to class with them, they may eat lunch with them. It's just really a neat program for our students to earn credit to help others out. Other classes that we have obviously are the PE classes. PE, weight training, are exactly what they sound like. Team sports is where students learn how to play team sports, basketball, soccer, things like that. Lifetime Fitness is a class for students who or where they learn how to develop healthy routines and habits that they can maintain as adults. So hiking and yoga and Zumba, things like that. A lot of students take that class who don't really want to take a PE class, but remember it's a requirement, so that's kind of the favorite class among them. We have 3 computer classes: accounting, computer science foundations, and website design. We have Bible history and creative writing, sociology. Those are our humanity classes for now. The dual enrollment psychology. If you're taking dual enrollment, I probably forgot to mention that you have to have an 18 in English and a 19 in reading on the ACT to take any of the humanity classes, and you have to have a 19 in reading and a 22 in math to take the math classes. So I will be meeting with your child. We'll be talking over and getting them registered in the next few weeks. Vocabulary you should know. So the FAFSA, again, that's where all the money comes from, or money-making decisions are made. Most schools won't apply the HOPE. They won't apply any scholarship money unless you have completed the FAFSA. Early decision deadlines. This is when you are telling a school that this is your absolute first choice. However, it is legally binding. So if you are applying early decision to Yale and you apply to 10 other schools and Yale comes back and says, yes, you have been accepted, you must withdraw your application to all of the other schools and accept whatever Yale financially has to offer you. They may or may not offer you anything. So in making an early decision, you should take a look at the financials on the schools because you are legally committing to them. Early action, is similar but not legally binding. You can apply to as many schools as you want early action, and that's just trying to get in ahead of deadlines and ahead of other people. Regular deadlines for college application are January through April. Rolling deadlines, there may be a rolling deadline for November 1st, and schools will take a look at all of the students who have applied by November 1st, make decisions, and admit students, and then they'll set another rolling deadline for January 1st, and they'll do the same thing. So that's what the rolling deadlines are. On-site admissions, specifically UTC does mock in a minute. They'll have certain days where you can bring a transcript to the campus, and it takes maybe 5 or 10 minutes and they'll admit on site. Other schools may have that. You would just have to do some research. So the Tennessee Promise Scholarship has no GPA and no ACT tied to it. It is meant for students to have the opportunity to do 2 years of junior college for free, or 2 years of a 4-year college in a 2-year program. So for example, Austin Peay will accept the Tennessee Promise. So if you find a 2-year program at Austin Peay that your student wants to go to, you could apply and use that money there, but bear in mind it won't cover everything. It'll only cover the tuition and fees. You would still pay room and board. If you went to Chat State, room and board, probably living at the house, Tennessee Promise would cover most of the tuition and fees for Chat State. The Hope Scholarship is tied to a 3.0 grade point average or a 21 on the ACT. So that's $16,000 over 4 years for any Tennessee schools, including Chat State. So if your child decides to go to Chat State and they're Hope eligible, Chat State will apply the Hope Scholarship before they apply the Tennessee Promise. It's a little complicated, but that's the way they do it. You know what the ACT is. You can take the ACT, or your child can take the ACT, as many times as they like. We offer it through the state in the spring and in October in the fall. If you are unhappy with your ACT scores in the spring, you can go to www.act.org and sign up to take it again. Now, because your student is taking it in March with me through the state, the website will not recognize that test. So do not put that your student has taken the test before. You'll be registering as a new student who's never taken it before, because it's a national web page. Having said that, the ACT is the same across the board. It counts if this is the only one your student ever takes, the one in March, it'll go to colleges. Colleges will accept it. But registering on the ACT website, you need to register as a student who's never taken it before if they've never taken it outside of the state offering. Our transcript shows your best test score. It shows the very best and it shows the super score. And that'll change as, if you take it 2 or 3 times, the best score will always show up on the transcript. And when you register to take the class, you have the opportunity to bubble to send it to colleges for free. If you plan to play sports, we tell students to always, always, always bubble the NCAA Clearinghouse. It's 9999 because the NCAA Clearinghouse will not accept it off our transcript. If you choose not to bubble it for colleges, to have it sent to colleges for free, colleges may ask you to send it to them one-on-one, and you'll end up paying, $20 per test per college to have it sent. So we strongly encourage you to use the freebies that are included. I have the last thing on here is the realistic expectations. I know that money can be a ticky topic for adults and for students, but now's a really good time to be talking to your student about what you have planned for them for college. If your student is planning to go to Dartmouth and gets into Dartmouth, but you have no plan to be able to help cover the financial side of that, then we've got to find other schools that might be a better fit for your student. So realistic expectations, if your student is a 2.25 kid, applying to UTK is a stretch. If you take a look at this, we encourage students to apply to at least five different schools. One is your the big stretch school. Either it's a big stretch to get into it or it's a big stretch to pay for it. 3 schools that have the programs that you're looking for and you should be able to get in and should be able to pay for it. And then 1 school that's just a fallback school in the event the world stops spinning and you have to stay home or your child has to stay home. We don't want them to miss out on an opportunity for scholarships and to go to college because something happened. Looking at this, the middle of UTK has a 28 ACT and a 3.89. That doesn't mean you have to have that to get in, but that's where the middle 50 is. As you're researching colleges, you can always look for the middle 50. Most places may or may not list their minimum requirements, but the middle 50 may be an easy way for you to find it. Sandy Mitchum is our college access advisor. She is here full-time thanks to the Mountain Education Foundation. At Junior Workshop, we will ask students to put their email address into Naviance, and we ask them to add a parent's address so that you will get emails from Ms. Mitchum regarding college rep visits and scholarship opportunities. If you do not receive those emails, then chances are your child did not add you to the list. So encourage them to add you to the list so that you can get that information. You can reach out to her directly if you have specific questions. Here's my email and address, or email address. If you have questions, I'd be glad to sit down and talk to you about them, help you work through any ideas or questions for, where to look or what to do for the next year. And I look forward to getting to know your child better and serving their needs. Thank you.